Benafíogaív, Guri, Machgawtargu and Hasha. In a previous video I worked on regular verbs and the patterns of that. This video we're going to work on irregular verbs. Some of the most common ones that you have in speech, things like coming and going, doing, seeing, hearing, and that. So the ones that you use an awful lot, and it's just as well to get them down solid as soon as you can. I found in my own learning and other people's learning and in my teaching that nouns, adjectives, phrases and such are a lot easier to get your head around and to remember than verbs are. And I know of people that have been learning Gaelic for years, and when it comes to especially the irregular verbs, if you ask them a question on one of those verbs, it throws them for a loop. So I'll give an example. I went to the church. I went to church last night. In learning, I find that people pick up things like Gnìomhairean, Ganstod, Gnìomhairean. They hear it a number of times. They've got it. Things like Arayed, and Jew, Amadach, and Jay. They hear that a couple of times. They've got it. But you can have somebody that's learning Gaelic for years, and when they hear Chai, it throws them for a loop. And it's very important that that's one of the first parts of the statement and the sentence. So if you're still kind of thinking back to what does this mean, you've missed out on the rest of it. So put the effort in to really get these verbs down solidly. And in your learning, one facet of it is to put emphasis on getting very proficient in these verbs. I'm going to do one at a time. When you're learning the irregular, try not to be learning verbs and or tenses that are closely related at the same time. Meaning if you're going to learn the past tense of doing, you want to get that down very solid, and I'd emphasize learning the past tenses first. Get them really solid before you worry much about the future tenses. But if you were going to be learning the past tense of doing, which is rain, then you don't want to be doing the future of ni. You can get the tenses mixed up. As well, you don't want words that are fairly close to each other. Things like, you don't want to be working on the verb to see and the one to get, feich and fai, at the same time. Because it'll lead to some confusion for you. So, and as well, something like a dal, which is going, and Jian, coming. So learn a dal and the different forms of that before you start worrying about learning a Jian. So these sometimes follow patterns, but usually don't, and that's why the way to properly acquire them is work on them, return to them often enough, memorize them, and put them to use so you're going to have them just memorized solid. So the first one we're going to do is a Jianug. In other dialects, this is MH, so you'd have a Jianov, or some say a Jianu, and it's doing or making. First run, I'm going to do past tense with all of them, and then we'll do a session in the future, or continue on this one. So with Jianuk, its past positive is rain. So rain, me, banach. I made a banach. Rain me, banach. Your negative, Chatarain, Chatarain Ushin. You didn't do that. Chatarain Ushin. And your question is Andarain, so I could ask Andarainu Aran. You make bread, and Nio-Riaghailteach, and the rain, and your answer is rain, h-Albann. Okay? So it's easier to learn them in context and in sentences rather than do a little bit of quizzing yourself. You can do flashcards or something like that. So you'll know that when you're questioning, and drill with your students and that. And the rain, h-Albann. So you have a reflex for these. Wow. So that's a Jian. Next one is, I'm going to do a Jian, as opposed to one syllable word, Jian, for sick, Jian. Okay, this is Jian, this is Jian. Jian, she is a rat, I'm coming down the road. Okay, positive, past tense. Hanik, Nio-Riaghailteach. Hanik Nio-Riaghailteach, I came home. And negative. Even though you spell it this way, it's one way, you'll also see it with a D or a T like this, rather than the old-fashioned way I've got it. h-Albann. And your question? Andanig ugan stor, Hanik, h-Albann. Again, watch this video over a number of times till you get this down solid. Next one is a feiskin, seeing. This is the symbol we use in Gaelic ballad for seeing, a feiskin. A feiskin is a good one to practice your genitive case. Keep in mind, these ones I'm giving up here are your verbal nouns, the ing, seeing, and what would come after that would be in a verbal noun. So if I had on board the table, it'd be a feiskin a vúrst. It's a good way to teach and to practice the genitive case of words. Anyhow, a feiskin, past tense is the positive, chonig. Sometimes in speech you'll just drop the chuna mi medi and ye, if you have me coming after it. Chonig, your negative. Big difference from a feiskin and from chonig is chanachka. Once again, if H is silent, chanachka. And your question, even though you write the M, you say afachka. Afachka tu shaunage. Did you see shaunage? Afachka tu shaunage. Chonig. Chanachka. Next one. A thirst, which is giving or taking. A thirst. Depends on what comes here as far as getting the proper meaning of it. So if I say a thirst the, can be a thirst go, that's giving to. A thirst the harla. Thirst the harla. Giving to Samuel, Sam. Thirst the harla. A thirst go Maggie. Okay, that's for giving. Okay. If it's taking, then you're going to use a form of vo, which is from. A thirst vo Hamus. From Seamus, a thirst vo Hamus. Okay? I mean a thirst shin vo Hamus. I'm taking that from Seamus. So a form of vo. And the last one is taking as well, but it's taking with me if I'm leaving. And it's going to be a form of la. Okay? As in, I'm taking it with me. A thirst leum with me. A thirst leum. Framing me in Yoyo a horse leum. I have to take the fiddle with me. Okay? So maybe we'll do another lesson on that some other time. But your positive past tense is hook. Hook me ool do gáin. I gave an apple to Donald. Thug mi ual do gáin. Negative. Chatuk. More modern spelling, just like that. Chatuk. Chatuk. Your question? I could write more modern this way. Antuk. Antuk. Antuku Aaron de Hamus. Did you give bread to Seamus? Antuku Aaron de Hamus. Hook. Chatuk. Next one is a cointel. A cointel. When you're teaching, I wouldn't teach an irregular verb, a cointel, hearing, and a regular one, a geistach, listening at the same time because they're too close. You want to separate them. The same with the learning. So a cointel is hearing. You'll also get dialectically a pointing, and the past of that in the positive is huawa, huawa. So huawa, huami an tauran. I heard the sound huami an tauran. Your negative, ha-huawa. Sometimes with native speakers you'll get ha-da-huawa, more so in the response. I'll get back to that in a sec. Your question. Anguawa, this is between a C and a G sound. Anguawa. Anguawa tu antaran shin riav. Huawa, ha-huawa. Okay. Back to this here with native speakers. Usually if they're coming out with a statement, they'll start it off with ha-huawa, mad, ha-huawa, mi, shin, riav. I never heard that. Ha-huawa, mi, shin, riav. But sometimes just in a response to say no, you might get them saying ha-ta-huawa. So I'd say, Angua tu antaran, ha-ta-huawa, ha-ta-huawa, in the response. Next we have atal. Atal, going. Verb to go. Atal. And positive past is chai. Chai. Chai, me, gan, skal. Chai, me, gan, skal. I went to the school. I went to school. Chai, me, gan, skal. Your negative is cha, jech. Some dialects say chadjech, and others chadjechi, chadjechi. Chai mi gan skul, chadjechi mi gan star. And your question can be same as it was here. Your question can be anjech, or it can be anjechi, anjechi. Anjechi togachi, did you go home? Anjechi togachi, chai, or chadjechi. And an interesting thing is, this would be an old form of cha-ta-chai. Cha-ta-chai, and it became chadjechi. Okay? So that's atal. Next one, afayan. Afayan. Afayan is getting or finding. Past tense. Huad. Huad. If you got a U and an A, get that good ua sound. Huad. Huad me antediget. Huad me antediget. I got the money. Huad me antediget. Your negative. Chat the wood. Chat the wood. And your question. Undo it. Undo it. Anduaru ushka, did you get water? Anduaru ushka, wood, chatuad. Put these into sentences, like I say, make your own sentences. Makes it that much easier, that much more practical, that much easier to remember. Okay, the next is for saying. Saying. In many dialects it's just a gra. Some dialects it's a ra as well. And predominant now in Cape Breton is, and for Western mainland dialects, a grain, a grain. What are you saying? Jeho grain, jeho grain. Okay. Positive. Hurst, hurst, hurst me shin. I said that. Hurst. Negative. Hurst. Sometimes you see it spelled like that or like that as well. More modern. And your question. Sort of away there. And Durstu Gandanige, did you say that he came? And Durstu Gandanige, Wurst, Chadurst. Okay, so it's a grain. Next one. In some dialects, it's just this word, a bre, a bre. If it's just on its own, a bre, it means bearing, as in giving birth. Okay? A bre. Mach, she's birthing, she's giving birth to a son. Okay, it's also for if you're laying an egg, hopefully a hen would do that. A bre ug. But if you change it to put ed with it, it means catching. Catching. As in, I caught the marker. A bre, so a bre is bearing, giving birth. A bre ed is catching. In my people's dialect, we would say a bre for birthing, and then for catching, we'd say a bedage ed, a bedage ed. Down in Mavo, in places like that, they'd say a bedach ed. Okay, so these are for, you wouldn't say by a bedage mach, she was giving birth to a son with bedage. Bedage and bedach are for, you use with ed for catching. Okay. Okay. So a little difference here. By ruk is your positive, chatruk, your negative, chatruk, your question, andruk. Okay, andruk, ruk, chatruk. So if I was using it this way, I could say, I could ask the question, andruki lenavnian. Did you give birth to a baby girl? Andruki lenavnian. And it's ruk or chatruk, right? Did you give birth to a baby boy? Andruki lenavgiya. Ruk or chatruk. But you can also use it for the catching. So, andruk u ed achach. Andruk u ed achach. Did you catch the cat or did you catch hold of the cat? Andruk u ed achach. Ruk mi ed achach. Chatruk mi ed achach. Okay? So there's a little bit to that one. And the last one, which you don't use so often. That's another thing. I usually advise people to worry about getting down the first date and worry less about getting these last two, a bre and this one, a riach. A riach is reaching, as in arriving, okay? A riach, you'll also get a rigach. Some people down in Northern Inverness County say that, a rigach. And you'll get, dialectically, a rikshin. Down the North Shore, they probably say a rikshin. Okay? And your positive past tense for that one is ranik. So, ranik mi gachi ekach guaden. I arrived home at 8 o'clock. Ranik mi gachi ekach guaden. Your negative, chatranik, chatranik, chatranik. And your question, and Dranic. And Dranic o Halifax ro Gnìomhairean fescid. Did you arrive in Halifax? Did you reach Halifax before 9 o'clock in the evening? And Dranic o Halifax ro Gnìomhairean fescid. Ranig, Chatran. And that's them for the past tense. Now I'm going to give them to you again in future, but as I suggested at the beginning of the video, really work on your past tense first, get that down solid like you know it like the back of your hand, and then start worrying more about the future. Maybe you've got half of the past tense ones down well, and you can start off with half of the future ones at that point. But like I said, watch that you're not learning ones that are too close in context or in sound or what they look like. Just so you make sure you file them away there in an efficient way. So we're going to go now to future tense. Your present tense, usually you're using the verbal noun, so ha mi a Jian a garan, I am making bread, like that. And your habitual, right, is going to take the same forms as the future. So I could say, Bí mi a féichcin William anach. I will be seeing William tonight. Bí mi a féichcin William anach. But I could say, Bí mi a féichcin William a hulawa. I will be seeing William every day. Is your habitual. So, future. And we're going to start with a Jian again. So, a Jian doing or making. Your positive. Ni mi shin. Ni mi shin. Probably short from Jian mi shin, an old form of I will do that, which is close to Irish. Ni mi shin, I will do that. As you can see, no pattern because your negative is Jian. Jian mi shin, you can also get Jian mi shin dialectically. And your question, and Jian, ni, Jian. And Jian o shin go, will you do that for me? Ni, Jian, or Jian. Again, coming is a Jian, and hic, your future positive. Hic me at Coi Guaran, I will come at 5 o'clock. Hic me at Coi Guaran, negative. Hachik, your question. Anchik, hic, hachik. Anchiku at Keiruaran, hachik. Hic me at Coi Guaran. Okay? An interesting thing is in Inverness County, where most other dialects hic usually just means come, in Inverness County it can mean go as well in your future. And you could tell somebody hikusustayashin, you go in there now, as opposed to hikashaw kind of thing, which it also means hikashaw, come here. Okay. Féichcin, seeing. Once again, no pattern. He is your future, nice slender CH. He, me, anach. Who? I will see you tonight. He, me, nachku. I'm not going to see you. Chaneich, again, FH silent, chaneich, my question. Right end, but say, afeich mi anachku, he, chaneich. Okay. Thirst, giving or taking. Fed, some dialects you say head. Fed me sin gucht, I'll give you that. No, head me sin gucht anach, I'll give you that tonight. Your negative. Chatad, chatad. Nice and thought is nice and short. Chatad. Your question. Antad. Antad o etiquette go. Will you give me money? Antad o etiquette go. Fed. Chatad. A pointal. Hearing. A pointal. This one is like represents or similar to your future and regular verbs. Queenie, queenie, queenie tu an thought in Jananach. You'll hear that song tonight. Queenie tu an thought in Jananach. Your negative, chachuin, you won't hear. Your question, and coin money and down. Queenie, chachuin, chachuin. Going again, atal. H mi gachi, I will go home. H mi gachi. Chatej, I won't. Chatej mi a Halifax, I won't go to Halifax. Chatej mi a Vabu, I won't go to Mabu. Your question? Engage. Engage you can start. Age. Chatej. Afayin. Getting or finding. Afayin. Yo. Some might say yov. Some might say dialectically yev, as in Sky dialect, yev. No. Chanai. Your question? Afai Ushin go. Will you get that for me? Afai Ushin go. Yo. Chanai. Agrain, saying, agrain. Oh, sorry, the positive is head. Head me a fachko. I'll say the word. Head me a fachko. No, once again you can see no pattern at all. Hanapid. Your question? Anapid? Anaparushin? Will you say that or do you say that? Anaparushin? Head? Hanapid. Sometimes for head you might get apathy as well. Okay, next we've got a bre, as I said, birthing, given birth to, and a bedage ed for catching hold of, a bedage ed. Keep in mind that's with ed. So you'd say beddy me ed a cat. I would say, for I will catch the cat. If I say beddy me and cat, that means I'll give birth to the cat, which I'm not planning on doing. So chaved, beddy, it's your positive. Chaved, negative. Bed, will you catch the dog? Better with a who? Betty. Chaved. If you're a little cute thing, if you're working with little kids, you can tease Betty me arse like that. By the way, I'm going to get you. Like that. Betty me arse. Last one we got Riach for arriving. Ricky, an old saying, Ricky, thou dottest. Delay will arrive at the door. What you put off, you'll eventually have to get it done. Ricky, thou dottest. Ricky, your negative. Hadrik. We often hear the phrase harikules. You needn't bother, harikules, you don't have to. Harikules. And your question, Enrique. So, Enriku Antigonish Rohech Uadan. Will you reach Antigonish? Will you arrive at Antigonish before 7 o'clock? Enriku Antigonish Rohech Uadan. Riki Harik. And that's it for the irregular verbs. There's a lot to remember. I suggest you put them into sentences, into context, write some out, speak them out. Maybe have some drills with another learning buddy to run over these things, but try and get them down in the past tense solid before you start worrying so much about the future tense. But I highly recommend to any learner, do the work early enough, and it's just opening doors to yourself for progress. And hope you do well. Tap it for the meisje screen.